Miss Lewis reflects on the poignant moment she discovered her father's denial of their biological connection at the tender age of 13, a revelation that profoundly impacted her sense of self-worth. This formative experience not only altered her view of familial relationships, but also instigated a complex emotional journey. Mr. Palmer acknowledges that he was always aware of Miss Lewis's lack of biological ties to him, thus raising critical questions regarding his motivations for nurturing her as his own. This admission emphasizes the dissonance between paternal obligations and biological fact, compelling us to analyze the implications of such decisions in family structures. The emotional ramifications of Mr. Palmer's revelation compelled Miss Lewis to create distance between herself and him for several years, as she grappled with feelings of rejection and confusion. Such estrangement elucidates the profound psychological impact that revelations regarding paternity can have, influencing personal relationships and emotional health. An examination of the timeline indicates that Miss Lewis was likely conceived during the period her alleged father was away at war, thus inviting significant questions about paternity. This discrepancy is not a mere footnote. Rather, it constitutes a critical element of the case that necessitates careful consideration. Witnesses, including Miss Lewis's brother, firmly assert that Mr. Palmer is her biological father, notwithstanding his claims of absence during the conception period. This assertion introduces a layer of tension into the proceedings, highlighting how conflicting narratives can complicate legal determinations regarding familial relationships. Miss Lewis articulates her emotional experiences surrounding her father's absence, underscoring significant life milestones he missed, such as her graduations and wedding. Her personal testimony serves as a poignant reminder of the profound impact that paternity disputes can exert on individual lives and family dynamics. The discussion underscores the importance of understanding one's familial roots, particularly for children who may lack meaningful relationships with their grandparents. Such connections can profoundly shape a child's identity and their comprehension of family, thereby reinforcing the need for clarity in paternity issues. Moreover, the conversation unveils how generational curses might influence family dynamics, perpetuating emotional scars that stem from unresolved paternal relationships. This cycle not only affects individuals, but can also reverberate into subsequent generations, impacting their perceptions of family and attachment. The intricacies of custody disputes come into focus, revealing critical questions about parental rights and the emotional well-being of the children involved. Such situations highlight the complexities inherent in establishing biological ties, a process that holds significant implications for modern family structures. The mother articulates the deep pain associated with having her son removed from her care, casting doubt on the authority of the involved officer. She voices a compelling argument about her parental rights being overshadowed by procedural decisions, thus raising important ethical questions. Mr. Brown expresses his shock and confusion upon discovering he may not be the biological father of the child he has raised. He recounts the emotional turmoil he has endured since receiving this unsettling information, emphasizing the psychological consequences that accompany such revelations. The testimony provided by Mr. Brown's girlfriend accentuates the emotional and financial support he has consistently offered to the child. She highlights his unwavering commitment to act as a nurturing father, thereby illustrating the complexities often encountered in parental roles. The entanglement of child support and state assistance further complicates the motivations underlying the pursuit of paternity tests, revealing the financial stakes that are often involved. A thorough understanding of these dynamics is critical, as they influence the decisions of all parties involved in such disputes. An exploration of the legal definition of fatherhood reveals that being named on a birth certificate affords one certain rights, regardless of biological connections. This legal perspective raises profound questions about the responsibilities and rights that non-biological fathers must navigate within familial contexts. The emotional intensity surrounding custody battles is particularly pronounced for mothers striving to retain their rights to their children. The impact of such disputes is far-reaching, affecting the emotional states of all parties involved, often leading to lasting scars. Establishing paternity becomes a pivotal issue in custody cases, as it directly influences legal rights and responsibilities. Courts frequently depend on tangible evidence, such as birth certificates, to validate parental claims, emphasizing the need for clear documentation in these matters. The high emotions associated with custody disputes can exacerbate tensions, particularly for parents who have been separated from their children for extended periods. The yearning to reconnect often complicates the legal intricacies involved, creating additional hurdles in the pursuit of familial restoration. The dynamics of parent relationships wield considerable influence over custody outcomes. Past interactions, emotional commitments, and existing ties play crucial roles in shaping judicial decisions, suggesting that the history between parents cannot be overlooked in legal considerations. Mr. McCrae, under the impression that he was the biological father, actively participated in the childbirth process despite not being married to the mother. This situation raises pertinent questions regarding his emotional investment and the expectations that arise from such involvement. The mother had cohabitated with Mr. McCrae during a time when her actual husband was absent due to personal challenges. This context complicates our understanding of parental roles and responsibilities, as it blurs the lines between traditional definitions of fatherhood and caregiving. Despite being aware that Mr. McCrae was not the biological father, the mother allowed him to foster a bond with the child, which illustrates the multifaceted nature of co-parenting and emotional attachments. Such scenarios reveal the nuanced dynamics that characterize modern parenting. The immediate bond formed between a parent and child during childbirth is underscored, highlighting the enduring significance of presence in these moments. This bond, often viewed through the lens of legal rights, speaks to the emotional depths of parental connections. The legal ramifications associated with paternity are meticulously discussed, detailing the responsibilities and rights that accompany recognition as a child's biological father. This discourse reminds us that legal recognition can have profound emotional and practical implications. Finally, the emotional consequences of the paternity results are illuminated as the father reflects on his feelings regarding the child and his role in her life moving forward. This introspection not only encompasses personal sentiments, but also underscores the broader implications of identity and belonging.